Hey everybody, it's Saturday, March 22nd, and I just wanted to come in and give you guys an update because things just progressed so quickly during the week, and me being exhausted, I didn't get a chance to do it. But I first want to say thank you all for your prayers, all your support. Um, you guys are amazing. There aren't even words to express my gratitude, really. Um, so if you guys watched the previous video, you know that my daughter is a victim of bullies at school, and she had basically been going through a depression that resulted Monday in a massive overdose on her medication. It's a heavy cocktail, and she basically took about 75 pills and fell asleep. So, as of Tuesday evening, she had gotten to that 24-hour mark. You guys know, life support, that first 24 hours kind of determines what's going to happen or what could happen. She had gotten there. About hour 25, we had lots of visitors come in and pray over her. And after they left, I wanted to see how responsive she was to the activity around her. So I went over and I touched her hands and I called out to her. I asked her to open her eyes, and she did. And I repeated, and she did. So I knew that the power of prayer is awesome. Um, a few hours later, after a few more visitors, I repeated. She did the same thing. And at that point, I just knew it was pretty much a waiting game. At about 11, 15-ish, the girls and I and a friend of mine, we've been friends for about 17 years. She's pretty much my sister. We were all preparing to go home for the night, and Jordan coughed, and I went over and I called out to her and I told her to open her eyes. She opened her eyes, and I repeated, and she opened again. And so I called the nurse, and the nurse came in, and she called out to her, and she did open her eyes. She asked her to wiggle her toes. She moved her legs. So we knew at that point that she was going to come out. It was just a matter of when. The next morning, the girls and I and our cousins were there, and let's say about 10:30, she started to cough again. And then at that point, she opened her eyes, and she was really going in and out, but she was waking up. And this is what they had just said was going to happen. They did not expect her to wake up as fast as she did, because she really just started coming down off of everything and just started waking up. That's my strong-willed child. So about 30 minutes later, she was hungry. She was asking for her glasses, and she wanted her cell phone right now. And she would fall back to sleep and wake up and fall back to sleep and wake up and fall back and wake up. But all in all, about 2 hours she did this, and we had to pretty much wait until she could wake up completely and stay up on her own for a while before extubating. So 2 o'clock on Wednesday, she was extubated. And we had visitors between that process come and sit with her as well. And around 7 o'clock, she was taken out of ICU and moved up to her room. So, I mean, the way she came out, she just woke up and just, I mean, she was fully coherent, like nothing happened. Um, we asked her, did she know who the president was? She answered. We asked her um, what day it was. She immediately said Wednesday. We asked her, did she know what happened? And she said she took a lot of pills. So, in talking to her, she told me that she, I mean, she really, she understood what happened, and she said, "Mom, I could have died," and that just resonated so deeply. I just can still hear her saying that, and even though she knew what she did, I don't think she realized the magnitude. She was not really. She said she knew what could happen, but she wasn't ready, and that's you know completely why she woke up, because she wasn't ready, and I knew she wasn't ready. She packed her bag before she went to the hospital because she told me she was going to the hospital. She told me the last time I didn't pack her the right clothes. So, yeah, go figure. Typical teenager, straight out of a coma. Um, no, not funny. I'm serious, but I mean that's how best as I can explain it. How she woke up. I mean, it's like nothing ever happened. Um, so what else? She could not really remember that process of waking up. She didn't realize that she had visitors at that point. It was not until around 6 when visitors arrived again um, that she could recognize them, and she realized um, that she was awake. So she was taken out of her room or out of ICU around 7 and taken to her room. And we kind of talked a bit. And she was just really curious as to what was going on, why she couldn't remember. She was very agitated because we would tell her who came to visit and she couldn't remember. So right now she's kind of, in a state of confusion. She's still depressed. She's still having crying spells. Um, but she knows that she had a lot of support and everybody's prayers. And like I said, we cannot even express our gratitude for you all reaching out to us like this. Um, just everybody in the school, her school, um, was just, they were completely shaken and distraught. Um, because, being a victim of bullies, for it to get to this point, it's been a turning point for the whole school. She is um, a poster child, really, for bullying. A super trooper, a hero for many of those teachers. Her friends, she had one friend come up from school to visit her, a very close friend, and she had gone through the same thing. She said it wasn't as um, massive, but that little girl was so distraught, and we had to reach out and comfort her. And it just, I could imagine just through her how the rest of the kids were feeling. They were all, on Wednesday, they were all counseled, her grade level, all of the teachers, because obviously they couldn't really function completely that day. The rest of the school grade levels are going to be counseled next week. Um, and so pretty much what we're doing now is getting ready to launch a campaign. Um, because a lot of times we don't hear about the kids making it. We find out in Columbine and the Virginia Tech shootings and things like that. We don't know until it's too late what's going on with these kids. But my child is here today, and she's stronger than ever thanks to the prayers and support. Um, I think she had a mission. She wanted to wake up. She wanted to speak out. And I'm going to support her and advocate this because parents need to know, the kids need to know that bullying is real and it's serious. Nobody should ever be a victim of bullying or anything like this. And they need to realize that the consequences are permanent. It's not just something that you do and you forget about it. It's permanent. It affects everybody. Right now, let's see, was it Thursday afternoon about 6, she was transported to treatment facility. She went back to the same one that she was in. So she's there currently, and she's going to be there for a good little while. She was there 2.5 weeks before, but she really needs some deep, intense therapy. She may remain, like I said, longer, and then we're looking towards long-term care, like my son, because we can't have this again. Eventually, she has to go back and go back into school and face what's going on. And although it may be a different school, I have encouraged her to stay home and be homeschooled. That's what's going to happen for a good while because she's not really able to function. Just like my son, she's not going to be able to function in school. She was really adamant. That's kind of what happened on Monday. I had taken her to a new school to talk to the counselors and see about enrolling because she just was adamant on not coping. And she thought that I was not in support of her. But what we were trying to portray was she needed to go back to her other school and talk to the counselors and the administration because they were aware of what happened and they were acting on it. I don't know if I said it was just more than kids. There was also a teacher involved in the bullying. They have all been dealt with appropriately. And I did let her know that because her not knowing where they were, in school, if she had to go back she decided to go back because she does miss her friends dearly. And that's what's weighing on her. She didn't want to be burdened with having to deal with them. So, like I said, they have been dealt with, and they have always had a zero tolerance, but because my child is so quiet, it just came to a head really fast. So they did not know that the bullying was this severe. But now it's just, there's zero, below zero tolerance. It's just not going to be stood for. And any teacher that does not report it will be dealt with accordingly. She, like I said, she pretty much thought I was not supporting her in this other school. I just wanted to make sure she was making the right decision and going to the other school, and we were to follow up, but so impatient. A couple hours after we left that school, hour and a half actually, is when she decided to go ahead and take matters in her own hands. So, okay, can you go in there for just a minute? Like I said, she's doing okay for the most part, and she understands what she did. And again, I just want to say thank you guys for all your prayers and support. And I will continue to update here as well as Facebook. As normally I keep Facebook close-knit I ask you to send me a message once you find me. But I just was not at the point of reading messages. I just pretty much put everybody through. Um, I figured if you took the time to find me, you've been watching my videos and you care. As far as the other girls, yes, they were very shaken. They have been out of school for the week. My 14-year-old went back to school yesterday. But we kind of just gave them some time to deal with everything that happened. And the fact that they have to go back and deal with the other students knowing. Because my daughter had also been to the middle school there. There's both schools on the same campus pretty much. They're separate schools, but high school and middle school. Middle school had also talked to the kids. So my 14-year-old is a middle schooler. So she has gotten a lot of support there. And I mean, we really, really were grateful that they reached out and they helped as much as they did. I mean, it's just phenomenal. I didn't have to worry about anything. They provided dinner. They're still providing dinner for us, and that just took a great burden off of me because, yeah, it was very stressful. So right now, I'm pretty calm, as you can tell. Things are, pretty much calming down. I'm trying to get back to normal. As far as daily goings, the little kids were really affected because I didn't spend as much time with them. So that is my plan from now on. I got a lot of stuff to clean up. I know I shouldn't be thinking about that, but the house is a mess. There's laundry everywhere. I need to go to the store at some point in the next week. But pretty much we're just, grateful that everything happened the way it did. Lastly, as far as my son, excuse me, he is not aware of what happened. He called me when I was in the ER, and I told him I was at the hospital with her. I didn't tell him why. I didn't want to tell him why. I was prepared to tell him later on once things progressed and we knew what was going to happen. Excuse me, either outcome, because I wanted him, excuse me, I have a cold. I wanted him to be able to deal with this while he was in treatment because things could have gone the other way. And I kind of need some, I don't know, kind of, I guess, advice or suggestions on how to tell him. Because I know eventually he's going to find out something. So, I mean, if anybody has dealt with this or has any kind of idea, on how to tell him, I'm not going to tell him while he's there now. It'll be, eventually when he comes home. Because I want him to know, I don't keep anything from my kids. Especially since he's gone through this suicidal ideations. He needs to know. But anywho, I'm pretty much done, I guess. Like I said again, thank you guys for all your support and all your prayers and your continued support and prayers, your comments. I'll make sure to get, any personal messages to her, things like that. And I will be back with you guys sometime, hopefully next week. Bye.